All right, I think we're there. You never can tell. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 197 of What Does This Button Do? It's an educational show about smartphones and tablets with us, Geeks on Tour. Today, we're going to have some special guests, and we're going to be talking about why we live stream our presentations. But first, a quick tip. Chris?
Yeah, our presentation today is going to all be about going live on YouTube, and we have some people who really have been doing it for a long time and know all the bells and whistles and tricks. So I figured I would give a quick tip just on how easy it can be, because what you're going to see for the rest of the show is not simple stuff. So this is just how you can go live using your phone. Hi, this is Chris Gould with Geeks on Tour, and in this video I just want to show you quickly how you can live stream to YouTube using your phone. First I'm going to show you on an iPhone and then on an Android phone. Here is my iPhone, and you just need the YouTube app. It's not just for playing videos. Tap on YouTube and you see this little button with a video camera up at the top. What does this button do? You tap on it and you can either record or you can go live. Tap Go Live. Here is one big issue. You must have an account that has a YouTube channel with at least 1,000 subscribers. So I don't have that with this account. Let me back up then. This is my personal Chris Gould account, but if I switch accounts to Geeks on Tour, then we qualify. Okay, so now I'm on a different account. I can tap that video button, go live, give it a name, and this is just demo on iPhone. And next. You have to say that it's not made for kids. And smile for a thumbnail, it says. Okay, I almost got there. Now, I am going live on YouTube. I can now talk to a worldwide audience just by talking at my phone. And if anybody was watching, which nobody knows I'm here, so there won't be, they could leave a message and I could talk back to them. I can also switch the lens so that it's looking out the rear lens, and I can see Jim. Hi. I can ask him, so what are we looking at here, Jim?
Well, this is my live YouTube studio. It's my streaming studio with cameras and monitors and microphones and a green wall behind me that I can use for chroma key.
Wow. All right.
Pretty cool, huh?
And that's it. I wanted to make this quick on the iPhone. Now I'm going to show you. I'm putting the phone back down under the camera. And all I do is tap the X to say end the stream. Now I want to show you on the Android. It works exactly the same, but there is even one more option on the Android. So this is pretty cool, I think. You start the same way, the YouTube icon. And I am already using the Geeks on Tour channel here, so this is going to work. I'll tap the button for go live and tap live, but then there's one extra little button. I have my choice of going live with the camera or with the screen. I think that is pretty cool. I can demo something on the screen and it goes live. We'll say demo. And you can choose landscape or portrait. That really only matters, since I'm doing the screen, I kind of have to go portrait. The video one, I did landscape. You're about to enter screen broadcast mode. Anything on your screen will be live streamed. Got it. Start. Now, I'm so often demonstrating Google Photos, so let me do that. I'll show you my favorite feature in Google Photos. And first, I had one more button I had to press.
What does this button do?
Go live. Going live. Okay. Now it's actually counting up the seconds, so I know I am streaming whatever is on my screen. Oh, and look at there. It has my face in a little circle if I get in front of the camera. So in Google Photos, I want to show you how I would search for a campsite, a photo of a campsite. That one. I say, I want to go back there. I don't remember where that was. Swipe up, open in Maps, and I can navigate there. One of my favorite features of Google Photos, navigate to a photo. And then I'm done streaming. I can go back to my YouTube and tap the X. Oh, look at that. 6 people watching. Are you sure you want to stop streaming? Yes. And that is how easy it is to stream to a worldwide audience just using your phone. I think that is way cool. Now, it is a problem that you have to have 1,000 subscribers, though, so Michael might have another option for us later. But in that case, you can always record. So you can actually use your YouTube button to record a video and then automatically upload it when it's done recording. So it's all pretty cool.
Okay, well, we are an educational show about smartphones and technology. I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour.
Also known as Propeller Heads.
And
Geeks
do you
are
think
propeller
your
heads.
smartphone is smarter than you? And do you have questions about your iPhone or your Android tablet? And how do you learn about these amazing devices?
Well, we are geeks who teach, and we think the best way to learn is in bite-sized pieces on a regular basis. So that's why we came up with this show. Each time we pick a topic and go into it. Just follow along, and you will become a lot smarter. And younger, too.
Learning, and better looking.
Learning keeps
Absolutely.
you young.
Yeah,
and
keeps the heart going, too.
All of our content is collected on our website at geeksontour.com.
Yep. Okay, what are we doing now?
Well, we're staying home because of this pandemic, but we did get out diving.
Yeah, my favorite.
It is lobster season, so we have to get out. We go out diving off of our kayaks, and Jim catches lobster, and we come home and have nice dinner.
Okay. Thank you. And we want to say hi to our live viewers, a lot of our friends out there. Read them off.
So, Jolin says that that's a great tip. David says audio levels are a little low. Irving, looking forward to the presentations. Greeting from Ottawa. Catherine Tracy, asking about captioning. And Honey and Jolin and Joel, all our good friends here. And Olive Cousin, who we know is Bill. Hello.
And Karen.
Hello, everybody. It shows 67 people. Welcome. And you can use the chat to put in any questions. We'll try to get to it during the show. David Gottdiner, Andrew. Hello, everybody. Wow, quite a few here. So let's get to it.
All right. Cool. Well, before that, sign up for our free newsletters. Members get a preview of our book now. So the brand new book that Chris has been writing, and it just went off to the publishers. At least we'll get some
for a proof.
Right? and become a member. Premium members of Geeks on Tour get special things. Subscribe to the channel.
So I do just want you, if you are a member, the PDF of the current version of the book is on our website now. It's just geeksontour.com/ebooks. You'll have to log in and you'll see the image of this book. It will take you and open the book right away. And then if you find the down arrow, there's a down arrow at the top right where you can download the copy to your own computer.
Cool. And the Backstage Pass for our premium members. It's a Zoom meeting that we do after this show. You can get the link from an email that Chris sends out every time they do this, or you can find it on our website, geeksontour.com. Look for the member login menu item, and then look for the Backstage Pass.
So we have two very special guests today. Many of you already know them because they are into technology and teaching also. I have just 3 slides and then I'm going to turn it over to them. So Michael Daniels, one of the main places you can find him and everything he does is on YouTube, just youtube.com/Michael Daniels. He does technology teaching and he does this cool game show. Tinkering with Tech is something that both Michael and Heather are involved in, and that is their community and their website for technology training, and they do more in-depth stuff than we do. And Heather does live streaming to teach arts and crafting, which is just how she is so into technology, I don't quite understand.
I think it all goes together, really.
Does it? Art and kind of like music and tech. Music and art and technology is all same part of the brain. Anyway, I am going to let Heather start it off and introduce herself and talk a little bit about how and why she live streams. Hey, Heather.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Oh, cool.
I have been live streaming for over 6 years, so I have a lot of bloopers. Because when you live stream, that's like the first thing you have to realize. You're live. You can't like cut and redo. You got to just go with the flow. As we learned today, right, Jim?
Yeah, that never happens, right?
I think that's probably my favorite part about live streaming is that there's no redos, because I find like I make a lot fewer mistakes if I don't have an eraser. I don't know if that's good or not, but that's what I like about live streaming, and the fact that I've learned to sort of go with the flow. Like when something does go wrong, you just you got to laugh at it or move on, or maybe we're not doing that trick today or whatever it was. So I think that's why I like live streaming the most.
You have a little sample, I think, of what your live streams look like, because they're definitely different than most of our technology shows.
They are definitely different. I can give you a little sample. This is probably not what it's really like, but it definitely is a sample. Here, I'll share a screen with you guys. And, whoops. Let me do that again. Sorry, Jim. All right, here we go. All right, so yeah, I'm going to play this. It's just a little 30-second clip of my myself and my co-host. You'll hear her in the background as well. So I'm just going to push play. Oh, that was a preview. That was a preview release. Are you guys ready?
Oh,
Here it comes. Here it comes. The reveal. Dun 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 dun.
wow. Look at that.
Oh, that's so pretty. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? So that's when it goes well, is what that is. When it all turns out exactly the way you want it to. And little tidbit, you may not know this, but I actually give away a lot of the art that I do, and I gave away that piece to Michael Daniels.
Wow.
Ah, okay. And so that showed the camera that you have pointing down at the table, but you also have one at your face, so you talk to people.
Yeah. Let me demonstrate that for just a second. So I can actually switch over to my desk just from here to my desk. And then I have some fun little tidbits that we can add to it even. And I can even put my own face in there. See? Kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
These are all little gadgets and whatnot that we've learned over the years. And I didn't start this way. When I started, I had a camera duct taped to a piece of wood over my desk. It was very low tech. It was duct taped right over the top of my desk, and every once in a while I would hit it and knock it over. It was quite fun. Quite fun.
Can I borrow some of that duct tape?
Yeah. It worked real well. It kept the camera on the stick. The stick didn't necessarily stay on the desk.
All right. Very cool.
Okay, Michael, you want to introduce yourself and give them a little idea of what you do? Uh-oh.
You have to unmute first, probably.
Try it for those people that want to try it with a sign language. Let's try that first. No, because I always mess up sound. Anybody that's ever watched my show knows that I forget sound or forget to turn it on. So, I mean, I've made it part of my show. So, no, but I started live streaming with Hangouts since Hangouts started. And this is a little trivia question. Some of you might know this or heard me say this before, but do you know what the very first live Hangout on air, because that's what it used to be called before it was streaming, but you know what that was or who it was? That's a trivia question. We'll get to that later. I'll give you the answer later. But anyway, no, I've been doing this a while. And I love live streaming. I love the interaction and the collaboration. That's one of the biggest reasons why I even do it. But we found ourselves playing games on a Hangout, by ourselves, just a group of us. And they said, well, let's just go live with it. Let's just go out there to YouTube or whatever. And just that way we can involve other people, but they don't have to bring them all in. So at the time back then, Hangouts only had 10 people that you could bring in. So that made sense. So that's what I did. I started working on that. And if you, like Heather, when you first start, and I only started doing this like, I don't know, a couple months ago. No, I'm kidding. Years ago. It takes forever, folks. Trust me, to get to where you're at. I'm going to show you because I'm going to show you a video. I'll screen share and talk about this video and where I've come and you'll be able to see a lot of it too. So I'm not going to play the sound, but I will narrate. Okay. So here I'm screen sharing, Jim.
Yeah. Looks good.
All right, good. Fantastic. All right. And so when this is a game that we played just last week, it's just like Family Feud, but we call it Friendly Feud just because we don't want to get copyright. And we learned that too. That's one of the things we learned. So right here, this is kind of cool. So what I do here is you're going to see the scoreboard get larger because we're getting ready to find out the answer. And that's kind of cool that you can do stuff like this and just have that come in. They get the answer and it comes up on screen. You can put it all there. That's all done. All that's done with spreadsheets and stuff. There's lots of tricks there. And then I can take that guest off, put the next guy on. So there's a lot of cool and fun stuff that you can do. If you get a chance, go watch the channel. You can watch this game show from last week. I'll stop that and I'll stop my screen share. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, but there's a lot of tech going on there. You know what I'm saying? It's like I told Heather one time, I said, you should let me.
Michael is an octopus. He just has 8 arms, I'm sure.
I said to Heather one time, I said, you need to do the show so I can be a contestant on there. She's like, no way.
Oh, no. Now we did do it one time.
I did. That's true.
I did
Good
like
point.
an eighth of your work and it was too much for me. I quit. So.
All right. Valid point.
Now the game
So
show.
anyway, my thing is to have fun. But go ahead.
Well, the game show is absolutely amazing, and I see it as a showcase for this technology, for what you can do. I mean, you are like a TV game show production. I see very, very little difference. And yeah.
Oh, I sort of disagree, Chris, because with like with a TV game show, there's like a whole different team for production and a whole different team for camera control and a whole different team for the host and a whole different team for judging. And now Michael does it all.
Yeah.
Right. And for how much money? How much do you, not including the
Zero.
equipment,
Oh.
you know? I mean, just how
His
much
paycheck is
ongoing
way
money?
lower than mine, that's for sure. But
Wow.
I mean, the main system you use is OBS. Is OBS the main facilitator, main thing that makes this possible?
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, absolutely. That's what actually pushes it out, what you see, the final product. So yeah, there's a lot of other stuff going on. So
I would say OBS is the bells and whistles, isn't it? Wouldn't you say
Yeah.
that?
yeah,
'cause
because I
what's
couldn't
actually
do it.
Yeah, what's actually pushing it out to the public to see it is StreamYard.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And I go.
But
straight
actually
to
OBS
YouTube.
though, with the virtual camera of OBS, and we teach all this. That's one thing that's awesome about our community is we teach all of this stuff. And you know, we have videos and stuff where we can show people and do all this kind of stuff and show behind the scenes and all that kind of stuff. So
And Michael has taught me most of the stuff that I know here. So, and when I'm using this stuff, it's all due to Michael. Thank you, man.
appreciate that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and just in case you've been wondering, OBS stands for Open Broadcasting Software. And StreamYard is a website, just streamyard.com, right? So those are the main
Streaming.
tools
Right. Streaming service. Yes.
that he uses and teaches. And a lot of your live streaming is teaching those tools, yes?
Correct. Yes, absolutely. 100%. That's how I started out. I love helping people. That's how I became a product expert. Like Chris, you're a product expert for photos. I'm a product expert in 6 other products. And that's how I love helping people. I mean, we don't get paid to do that. We just go and we help people on stuff that we know. So I decided to create a YouTube channel. I've been helping people and creating videos. I said, this is a great way to learn. But the difference in creating a video and live streaming, and this might be a good segue into our first thing, but the reason that I live stream is because you get that interaction. It's you get that personal person saying, hey, listen, what about this or that kind of thing, or it might trigger something in their head and they say, what about this? And that's why I love live streaming these things, to make those kind of things happen, versus just making a video. Then you just get comments later. And if you can't get to those comments right away, you know, people want to do this stuff and they try and learn stuff. So it really makes it very useful in a live streaming method.
Yeah, kind of the first thing is why the words live streaming. I mean, I used to call it on TV, it's called broadcasting. And on the web, it's basically broadcasting. I have been known to call it webcasting, but the live streaming has seemed to take over. Any comments, thoughts? The term live streaming.
I said this in the green room, but we all were live streaming before live streaming even was what it was called. So yeah it's kind of hard to wrap your head around that. That's what now, but yeah, we used to call
Change that because it's that those are streams of data coming through, and I think that's how it. And this is all internet. Before you used to watch TV, there was 3 channels, and it came over the air or antennas, or you had to have tinfoil. So you know, so to get a good signal anyway. So I think because of the word streaming over the internet, they even call regular TV now, they call it streaming services. Yeah. They don't even call it TV, live TV. They call it streaming services. So I think that's why.
Because that's what data does, is stream.
Correct.
And then live. Now, for us, videos, you know, recorded videos is more my first love. And, you know, I like to produce and I like to erase, you know, I like to have an eraser, Heather, and make things go well. But we found that people won't watch. I mean, there's a bit of sense of urgency when it's live. So people will tune in when they know you're going to be live, whereas even though they know they can watch it later, You know, there's some impetus to watching it live, and we like that. I think it's worth the stress. What do you think?
Exactly.
I'm not so sure all the time. Sometimes I think my heart skips a beat when it doesn't work when I push that button. What does that button do again?
It makes everything crash.
Yeah, sometimes it does.
So, what, Heather, what's in it for you? What do you get out of doing these live streaming? I mean, people don't pay for watching a YouTube show.
Right. I think for me, it's the interaction. I'm way more about the engagement than I am about turning a buck or, producing the most perfect how-to video. I can do that. I could definitely record all of what I'm doing and then cut out all the flubs and then make, this video that would, if this was what you were interested in learning, you could follow it step by step and you could get to the end of it and you could be like, yeah, I think I'll do that now. But you probably won't interact with that person on that video very much. And I am much more about the engagement, and I want to be I really, my goal is to bring out the creativity in you. So I don't want to do that from a recording from 6 years ago. I want to do that today, right now, while we're doing this. And you say something like, well, what would happen if you put yellow in it? And then I go and I put the yellow in it because I wouldn't have done that if you had not said it. So that to me is far more exciting. And
No,
I
she
feed
made me
off
do
of
her.
it.
She made me do her show too. By the way.
I didn't make
Golly,
you do
that's
anything,
hard.
but
That's hard
but
to
here
do.
I will say this.
So hard.
Having Michael do my show while I was on vacation was awesome, and the audience loved it because they saw him being creative. It was quite fun, quite fun.
Sure,
But
whatever.
I do have a little story. Like, okay, years
I'm
and years
sorry,
ago,
you're going to get this banter. I mean, this is what we do. Sorry, I'm sorry. But it's
years
not
ago, and then I just ignore him. That's the way it goes. Years ago, I had seen a video and I was following along, just like how YouTube used to be. You would search for something you wanted to learn, and then you watch it, and then you try it. So I was doing this paper crafting thing with this woman, and I would pause the video and I'd do the same thing, and then I'd pause, push pause, watch her do it, pause, do the same thing. And I noticed there was a certain point in the video where mine didn't match what hers was, yet I'd been following along the entire time and it wasn't matching with what she had, and it wasn't working for me. I kept having a mistake, and it took me going over, and I got real meticulous with where I put that player on the player head on the YouTube, because I was trying to figure out where I made a mistake, and what I found was she edited out the mistake I made. And
Oh.
that was where I went, you know what? Live streaming is where it's at
Better.
from then. Oh, although we didn't call it live streaming. But that's where I realized that's better, because if anyone out there is like I am and following along and comes to this roadblock, they're going to get frustrated and they might not ever do it again. And that was not going to happen for me. I was bound and determined to help people get over the roadblocks. And like, when something doesn't work like you wanted it to, you push the button and it didn't do what it was supposed to do. How do we handle that? I wanted to teach people. Well, that didn't work like we wanted. So what are we going to do next? Let's fix it. And that has been my mantra ever since.
Excellent. Now, you have a cool slideshow
Wow.
going on in the background there. You want to tell us about how that's happened?
You like that?
Yeah,
You like that?
beautiful
Yeah,
stuff.
that's a part of the OBS options. I mean, you guys using OBS as well to put our pictures side by side and to have us with our names underneath and all that fun stuff. The same thing can be done very simply with what's called a slideshow of my art. That's kind of cool, right?
We
So
get that.
when I talk about my art show, I like to have my art
Love
on, and then
Love
I
it.
can, I can easily go back to tech mode. Just kidding. Just kidding.
But that's what
I like this better.
Yeah, the OBS allows you to do all that stuff. It's cool.
Yes. Yes.
All right, Michael.
Absolutely, 100%.
So what? It's fun.
I get to touch on that? Okay.
It's cool. It's awesome. There are problems. Tell us some of the problems.
Yeah, there are problems. Well, just to touch what you just told Heather too. One thing that I can sit there, and anybody that's ever edited a video, it could take 2 to 10 hours to edit a video
Correct.
all the way through. And if I'm going to sit there and do that by myself, why not do a live stream of doing that exact same thing and teach somebody along the way? And they might give me some hints and stuff like that. That's a little bit more intriguing. Even if you're just, let's say you're great at making whatever it is, scrapbooks or just something, and you videoed that there's an audience. People out there, some of your people that are watching this right now, they may not, I don't want to go live. I really don't, there's not an audience for me. There's some people that don't never come on screen. And I think that's important. Now, you just asked me of things that can go wrong. Okay. That's fun.
Do you have your list? Do you have your keep list of all the things that can go wrong? Because there's only a few.
What you do though, what I find, especially with live streaming, because this is something that if you ever get a chance to watch Sarah Hill, she did a TED talk on this, and it's awesome. It's just awesome. And she was talking about Google Hangouts or just live streaming. And what she said was, she started her whole thing out was, have you ever watched a TV? You're watching a game show. Let's just take a game show, for example. You're watching a TV and you're like, I know that answer. And you start screaming at it. You screaming at the TV. Why don't you know this answer? This kind of gives you, by having the chat and that stuff going back and forth, it gives you the option to actually play along. And so that, to me, there's appeal to that. Instead of just watching a talking head or just watching a podcast. Whereas you can have this other, or listening to a podcast, excuse me, whatever. And, so to me, there's appeal there. People could do this. People can do a live stream and just showing stuff. And I think that's a big thing. So the things that can go wrong, I find out what went wrong, and I always go back.
Richard Clarkson says, start with the sound not on. There.
Yes, exactly.
That's always good.
That's always something I do. But it's, and that's my claim to fame. That's right, Richard. Thank you very much for bringing it up. But I always, once something's gone wrong, I try and find out a solution. Hey, how can I fix this? Or what's something I can do in case this happens again? And I change my methods because of it. But I also, when I get into my community with our paid members, I teach that. Hey, listen, I've already been through that. Here's what you might want to do instead. Or I use some reasoning like, hey, here's probably why they do this. How come we have to have, I've heard forever, how come for me to chat in YouTube, I have to have a YouTube account or a Google account? I said, and my answer is always, why not? I mean, they're responsible for the security and stuff like that. So it's things like that I've learned over time, because you hear a lot of stuff over time. Oh my gosh, well, this is an issue or this and that kind of thing. You learn from it and you just make sure you have a backup. And I try to make a checklist. Try to make a checklist so you don't miss anything on there. Because Heather, and I try and give some of that checklist responsibility to Heather, and she forgets to tell me. And
I don't look at checklists. You need to get a partner who actually looks at checklists if you're going to do checklists, just so you guys know.
Exactly.
But just one thing, I think it's important for our viewers to know that it's no matter how much you know, things go wrong. And if only because there is a software update and it conflicts with something else.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what happened to us today. I started the stream and it didn't want to start. So there was a message in there, and I think it has something to do with the Zoom update that I just got. So, yeah, it's always something.
100%.
Yeah, and it doesn't even matter how long you've been doing it. You could have 500-600 videos under your belt. It's not gonna mean you're gonna be without mistakes or without issues taking place. And
one of the things that's frustrating is you don't know what is.
Right.
You don't know going in. You're like, hey, I just tested this. How come it's not working? So.
Well, and you can do all the things you know to do. You could restart your computer beforehand. You could have changed, done all your downloads and uploads and all of the updates that you needed to get done and refresh everything. And you could still have something go wrong. And really what you need to do is just learn to go with the flow. Because, and we can ask this of the audience right now. Did you come to the thing and it was a couple minutes late and go, oh, forget it, I'm not going to stick around? Everybody out there stuck around. They're all here. So clearly it's okay if it doesn't start right away. It's okay if the sound isn't on when you first get going. People will tell you, I can't hear your sound. People will say your sound is not high enough or it's too low or whatever. And that's the beauty of having a wonderful audience, but it's also the beauty of having an attitude that says, I didn't quit, I didn't give up, and I didn't not push the start button.
The one last thing that I want to add to this is because, and you're seeing it now, since we're in the situation we are in the world, you look at news channels and stuff like that, they're messing up. They're goofing up. There's things happening in the back.
Because they don't have their crew. They don't have their crew.
Exactly. So it makes it more real though, too. It makes it really, really real. And that's what I love and the appeal of that. So that's why I think it's important a lot of times to go live. I think you should go live when you can.
I figure we need a little stress in our lives.
We'll do this.
You know,
yeah,
getting your heart beating is a good thing.
A stress that we can be involved in and enjoy, I guess.
Heather, I know your daily live streaming you don't even do on YouTube. What is it that you stream to?
I stream to Twitch. Yes, I stream to Twitch, and I do put some of those live streams, like the recorded version, over on YouTube. But yes, I am live on Twitch every Tuesday through Friday, unless of course something comes up or I don't feel right or Michael says the word ends in Y. But anyway, I tend to be there every day, and it's
That's
a lot
amazing.
of fun to be able to just turn the camera on and create something with a bunch of friends from all over the world. As a matter of fact, my co-host on that show is Jules in the UK, and she's a delight because of her accent more than anything. But it's awesome. It's great to have somebody with a UK accent on your show if you're from the US.
and you actually bring all your audience in. And they can be heard, or I mean,
sometimes we have guests in with us. Lately, we've had Michael, Andrew, Mert. You guys might know from Dear Myrtle. She's been in there before. Russ has been in there before. Her counterpart. We're all just a bunch of good friends, and we just like to hang out. And sometimes they come and join me, and it's a nice, relaxing time to have them chatter while I can focus on the artwork. It's kind of fun.
All right. And Ron Brown asked, why use Twitch versus YouTube?
Great question.
That is a great question. So for me personally, it was about the atmosphere of live streaming. So I used to solely be on YouTube, and I live streamed on YouTube before many people live streamed on YouTube. And I never really had much of an audience because live streaming on YouTube, the culture was just totally different. YouTube is generally, or has been in the past, generally a place you go to have like a video treasure trove, basically, of information. And you would search for a video that has already been put up and recorded, and then you would watch the 30 seconds of it that you needed to get the tidbit you needed and move on to the next one, or a whole different topic, or whatever. It wasn't really an entertainment place per se, and it wasn't a place where you would sit through a 1 to 2 hour live stream. That was never the case before. Then I've had a lot of changes in my life as well, and I wasn't actually able to live stream for quite a while, about a year. And when I came back, all that had changed. YouTube was totally different, and my audience was different. My audience wants those videos. They don't want the live streams. So my audience on YouTube is different than my audience over on Twitch. So I actually built an audience over on Twitch that says, hey guys, this is where I'm going to be live. You get a notification over here and I'm live. You can interact and all that kind of thing. And then over on YouTube, you can watch pre-recorded videos. So it's kind of an atmosphere type of thing. A lot has changed.
Harassing you in the audience too, though. You get me harassing you in the audience. So
That's true. That's true. And since making that decision, there's been a lot of things that have changed a little bit over on Twitch that have allowed me to have a little
Yeah.
bit more fun with my live stream.
Yeah,
There's
it's
certain
true.
things that we can do
That's
over on Twitch
awesome.
that you can't do over on YouTube. So it's been kind of fun that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that
She knows how to do
Jolin,
all that geeky stuff too.
Jolin is mentioning how you, Heather, are in Arizona and Michael is in North Carolina. South Carolina. Whereas we are in the same room. And she says, so see, you don't have to be in the same room. Actually, when it comes to the live streaming, being in the same room is a lot harder. Would you agree, Michael? Because of the microphone
actually, I think
issues.
I think you guys can answer that better than I can because you're standing there right next to each other.
Yeah, have you ever had anybody
yes.
in the same room with you and known the?
We have.
Yeah.
Well, when I came to visit, we tried to do that, and
Live game show.
And it's really hard because, like, look at Michael's setup right now. He has his headphones on. I have my headphone on. You guys are not doing that, but when you go into a setup that is for a single person and now you're going to add someone else, they have to have another headset or they have to be able to plug in a microphone, all these kinds of things that take place that you're not really prepared for when you're somebody who live streams by yourself. I've struggled with that with having Mr. Kraafter next to me, and the sound is off and it's terrible because we're not used to it. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It is more difficult to have someone in the room with you, I think.
Yeah, there have been times that I've gone upstairs just.
Yeah, especially if it's a spouse and you're having one of those days. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
There will not be a live stream today because the spouse has been killed. That's a different show.
That never happens around here. No.
Yeah.
How about
my thing always too when you do a live stream like this though is you got to have fun. You have to have fun. So if whoever's sitting next to you can give that fun, the fun always translates. You know what I'm saying? The fun always translates, so it doesn't matter. We didn't really, and the thing is, that's the other thing. I always take the approach, I don't care. I'm having a blast. You know what I'm saying? The final thing that goes out there, I do care a little bit, but I mean, in the long run, hey, we're having fun. Let's have some fun. So have fun in whatever you do, I think is a main thing.
Very important.
I want to comment to that because I have done videos where I thought this video is going to be one of those videos that I can send off to the person, to the company, to the product. You get what I'm going for here? And be like, this is an example of what I can do. And those are usually the ones that go the worst. Like that's when it all falls apart. And,
when you think you know what you're doing.
Then I'm like, and I'm really hoping that they didn't find it when I tagged them in it, because I was hoping they would watch. No, I'm really hoping now they didn't see it at all. But yeah, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Okay, well, we need to wrap it up, but because of timing, although there's no limitation. We could go on for hours, right? There's no absolute limit on us. But I do think there is a best practice. So let's talk about just a couple of best practices, and then we'll wind it up.
Oh yeah.
The length of a show seems like
knowing your audience.
Knowing your audience, how long they can sit. So the length of the show, what time of day, what day of the week. So speak to a couple of those. Michael.
Heather? Oh, me? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So one thing that I have done over time, first of all, I have a real job. I also help in the Google Plus forums or Google Plus, listen to me, Google forums, excuse me. And that I can't get it out of my mind. I'll never let it go. But anyway, no, but so I do a lot of other things. I have a community that I work with. So my thing is that you try and get the best for everyone, and you got different time zones. You got people in different countries. You got all kinds of stuff. If you sit there and try and beat that to death, you might have one time where you have a whole bunch of people. You can sort that out and figure that out. In the end, I think what it is mostly is come up with a time that works for you where you can give your best show. As far as length, I mean, seriously, and I think the length of and Heather, you and I both have canceled shows. We've done stuff like that. Hey, listen, I just can't. We got a real life behind it and everything else. And I think people understand that, especially
That's kind of what I was saying earlier when I
Mm-hmm.
said,
Mm-hmm.
some days I'm not able to go live, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's just the way it works sometimes. I am a caregiver for my grandmother. She's 96 years old. Some days I'm not able to do anything but take care of her, and some
Right.
days I'm able to do this all day long. So
But also
you
you got to
do
think
what you
about like
can.
game
You
show.
do
Game
what
show
you
is an
can.
hour long. Game show is an hour long. You know what I'm saying? I decided, hey, we're doing an hour long game show. If we go over, we go over. But the thing is you have to think about also a lot of times you're there for the live stream, but a lot of times I get rewatches. You have to consider that too. Who's going to sit there and watch 2 or 3 hours of something? You know what I'm saying? So even when you're doing a tech video, when I go and look on YouTube for something to help me out, I'm looking for something to get the answer, get out of there, not all the other stuff that goes along with it. So a lot of times that's how I make my decisions in what I do and how, and the length of those videos and things like that when I'm making decisions.
Cool.
Okay. Yes, I love that you have to pick the time where you're going to be your best. And so Sunday afternoon at 2:00 just really works for us. And that's why we do it. And
Exactly,
we may
yeah.
not be doing it on every Sunday, but people know if we're going to do it, it will be
Right.
Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern, so they can check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So, people, if you want to learn more, if you actually want to learn how to use StreamYard and OBS, etc., let me show you where
Live
you
streaming,
go.
any live streaming, right?
Any kind of live streaming. It is tinkeringwithtech.net, and look at these kind of videos that Michael makes. Open broadcast software, small business planning, Google Sheets, Google Nest, different things from what we teach. So we encourage you to check out tinkeringwithtech.net.
Okay.
And we will see people backstage.
All right.
Let's get to the right. Oh, any questions?
Awesome.
I don't think I saw.
Not really. A couple of nice comments, but yeah.
I personally want to say
through.
thank you. I appreciate it. I hope somebody learns something from this or gets something from it and I hope it encourages people to go live.
Yeah.
I think
Oh, here
live streaming is a good thing. And I thank you guys for having us on because you guys have been, you said earlier that I've helped you and stuff like that, Jim, with your OBS or whatever. You don't know how many times that you've helped me with my Google Photos or whatever
Oh,
other
totally,
questions
yeah.
too. So yeah, I
That's
wanna
what it's all about. Oh,
Yeah.
My favorite part about the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite part about the whole thing is how helpful everybody here is. Everybody is helpful. That's just the best part. You guys are great.
Yep.
We do develop
and our
a
members
community.
of our community as well.
Yours,
Yeah.
and
Both our
ours.
communities, and some of them are there on both, so that's cool.
I
And
see Betsy Coyne has a question. I do a game show on Facebook, and I'd like to make the switch from Facebook Live to YouTube Live. What to look for?
Ooh, good question.
If you already have an audience over on Facebook, this is what I did when I switched over to Twitch. I did both. I used a tool called Restream.io, and we can help you with that if you're interested, or you can figure it out because it's pretty easy. But I used a thing called Restream, and I was able to stream it to both platforms at the same time. And throughout every show that I did, I would mention,
Moving
as
over
of
to
this date, it's going to be on
Great
Twitch
point.
only. It was not going to be, for those of you watching on Facebook, we're actually going to be on YouTube starting September 1st. So you want to join us over there if you want to be a part of that.
Great point.
That's how I did it for about a whole month. I did that. I did that for a whole month. That's just a tip, an idea.
That's a great suggestion. I mean, that's exactly what I was going to say, or what I was thinking as well, because you go where your audience is.
Right.
I mean, a lot of times I know Heather made a switch to Twitch for different reasons.
Say that 5 times fast.
Say that one time fast. I can't even do it. Can't do it. So yeah.
And it was very personal for me to be able to switch over to Twitch. And I know it wasn't the best idea for everybody watching, but those who followed And we've built our audience up since then too, but those who followed came because they wanted to be there. So you'll get your true followers will take over with to where you go, and you'll be able to build from there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Great.
And you know what to look forward to, she says, just, I mean, I don't know. I mean, one thing I like about after a video is done or whatever, there's a place you can go find easily in YouTube, in my opinion, because you can go to that person's channel or whatever that is. So that's just my thoughts on that. Facebook, it's always been difficult for me to go and find something is all.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. And we appreciate you guys coming on as our guests this time. And I think we're going to be guests on Michael's show sometime, maybe this week.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
And we can do that. And
I just see somebody is asking, what is OBS? What is it? Is it obs.com, or where can they find?
just do a Google search for OBS, Open Broadcaster Software, and you'll find that it's open source and it has a longer name. So Chris is trying to find it there.
obsproject.com is the exact link. obsproject.com, and that'll take you to OBS Studio, where you can download it onto Windows, Mac, or Linux.
Mm-hmm. And it's free.
And it's free.
But
it's
it costs a lot of time.
Well,
costs a lot of money that way, for sure.
Yeah, and you might want to get a better camera or a better microphone or more of the same.
Once you get into it.
It's pretty cool.
You don't have to start big, though. Keep that in mind, everybody. This is truth. You don't have to start big. You can start small. You can
start with just your phone. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I had one question. I know that, Michael, you did a video earlier today using just your phone, as did I, but instead of YouTube, you used StreamYard. There's probably no requirements for amount of subscribers or anything there, so is that something that anybody could do?
Yes, that's a great point. I forgot that you have to have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So yes, you can go live right now using StreamYard. The free version of StreamYard, you can go to one destination. So that destination could be YouTube. What?
You still have to be able to go live on YouTube, which means you still have to have 1,000 subscribers. Yes. You still have to have the allowance of it.
Okay. I didn't think about that.
All right.
But you can go live. You can go live to Facebook or whatever. But I use StreamYard. StreamYard, it's a free product. I teach about it. Have some workshops that I've done on it. If you join the community, even for a month, come get that information, and you could learn that way. To me, I wanted to see how long it took me from start to finish. It was less than 1 minute to go live on my mobile phone, completely with their system. Mm-hmm. And I could bring comments up on screen. Get it. If you go back to my channel, you'll see that's live. It's public. Go check that out. You can see that.
Cool. Well.
Okay. Thanks
you
so
again,
much.
Guys. I'm going to take you off the screen, and we'll see you in the backstage pass. You guys will be there to join us, right? Yeah. And so let's finish this thing off. All right, Chris? What's the web page that lists all of our YouTube shows?
geeksontour.com, and the menu item is YouTube show.
And the web page that lists all of our recent newsletters?
geeksontour.com. The menu item is blogs and news. The newsletters are under there.
Okay. And why do people pay $58 or so a year to join Geeks on Tour?
We have free courses for our members. They get to ask us questions, hundreds of Show Me videos and ebooks, and a lot of people join just to say thank you for all the free stuff they get. And the one last thing is this backstage pass, where we're going to meet up with folks right now.
Next time?
Okay, next time is our Google Photos book launch. I know I at first said it was going to be this week, but nope, it's next week. Definitely.
Definitely.
So we will replay some of the private meeting with David Lieb, and we will have some special offers for the new book and some courses, etc. So we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Okay, so don't forget, if you are a premium Geeks on Tour member, you should have a link to the Backstage Pass. It's a Zoom meeting. It helps if you have a camera and a microphone, and we will see you there. Okay, I'm Jim.
I'm Chris.
And we are Geeks on Tour. We'll see you next time.
Keep pushing those buttons.
What does this button do?
What does this button do?
Don't touch that button.